Hey everyone, welcome to a new Elite Combat Achievement video, and this one is for the Corrupted Hunllef. The title of this one is 321 Mage, so much like the Crystalline Hunllef 321 Mage, but this is with the Corrupted Hunllef. So just reading the description here, 321 Mage is an Elite Combat Achievement which requires the player to kill the Corrupted Hunllef without taking damage off prayer. So yeah, pretty much the same as a Crystalline Hunllef where you pray range and mage correctly and don't take any damage. And you don't want to get in its melee way either because you can get killed with that. Trivia is the same as the other 321 Mage where it's a reference to the Hunllef helper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the OSRS Wiki through this link Corrupted Hunllef, and I'm actually going to bring up the Crystalline Hunllef so we can just do a comparison for this 321 Mage, and this is all the difficulty difference will be realistically. So I've got this up snip here. So Crystalline Hunllef, Corrupted Hunllef will begin with 894 combat level compared to 674. What other differences do we have? So we have max hit is a lot higher at 68 to 50 plus. They use the same attack style, so you don't have to worry about that. Attack speed is the same, 5 with intervals of 3 seconds. Combat stats are a little different, only for the HP here. So you'll notice that the Corrupted Hunllef is 1,000, and that does make an incredible difference because the fight goes on longer. So you're going to need to eat possibly more food if you don't do this as much. Aggressive stats are a bit higher too. That's where you really notice it, especially here. So look at this, 76 to 90, but then strength is 64 to 112, and that will the melee attack will definitely KO you in most instances, especially if you get hit by a square or tornado. It's game over. Magic's a bit higher, 76. Magic strength is a lot higher. That's 64 to 112. Range again, so they're all basically a bit of increase from range, but the range strength goes up 112. So that the strength of each combat style goes up to 112, which is like pretty much double. That's a lot more. And the defensive stats are the same, so you won't have to worry about that. The defensive stats are the same, so you'll hit the same. And I guess if the defensive stats were higher, that would make this a lot harder, but considering it's not, you can pretty much apply the same power of your attacks. So without further ado, let's get into this. Just going through the plugins that you'll want to use for the Corrupted Gauntlet. Now I did go through this in another video, but I'll just do this for each video just in case you only need this video. So the Gauntlet plugin, if you don't already have it, we'll be using this one, and if you type in the Gauntlet, it'll be the Gauntlet with the red ore data all-in-one plugin for Gauntlet version 1.6. So you just need to install that one into your plugins, and then when it's active and you go into the Corrupted Gauntlet, it will actually show all the resources. So it's like a resource guide interface, user interface here, with the food, the weapon frames, the shards that you'll need, the bits of resource for the armor, and the 2 herbs. You can use 3 if you're more comfortable. I'll probably, if it's the first time you're doing it, maybe 3, but pretty much that's a great guide. And then it also, when you go into the Corrupted Hunllef fight, you'll see throughout this video it actually has guides for melee square for the Hunllef and other helpful things through the fight, but we won't be using the Hunllef helper, this guide. And if you don't use the Gauntlet, it won't show the resources, and it won't show the nodes on resources like that, and it won't show the melee square for the Hunllef, and just things throughout the fight you'll notice with using the Gauntlet plugin. Alright, well let's continue now with the important achievement. So just taking a look at where we are on the mini-map, and this is how to get there to the Gauntlet. So we're currently in Prifddinas, and we are at the most northern bank. You also could get there from the house portal, so you'll need to have completed Songs of the Elves quest to have access to this area, and you can teleport to Prif and then run north from the house portal to the Gauntlet. Otherwise, if you're already at the bank, you can just run northwest past the sandpit and the altar, and then head a bit around that pathing to the Gauntlet. So I'm going to show you the route now with running it. It's very closer than you think in regards to the mini-map. So if we run through the sandpit and Alder, and head just a little bit south here to the enter Gauntlet portal. So you enter there, and it'll send you to the Gauntlet lobby, and then you can enter the Gauntlet or enter Corrupted Gauntlet. So that's pretty much it. So enter the Corrupted Gauntlet. Once you're in there, light the nodes to the rooms, start lighting them, and attack the monsters outside, the low level monsters, the bat, rat, and the spiders. Gather the crystal shards. You want to make the first weapon, which is the attuned staff usually, and you can use that then to attack the Demi Bosses. So you can see in the left hand corner that we have our resources that we need for this Gauntlet run, Corrupted Gauntlet run. So it's basically we're using for this Gauntlet guide, the basics is like basic armor, so the 3 ores, 3 barks, and the 3 wools, and 2 herbs. I'd recommend probably 3 if you're not as confident. I think I'd do that in this guide just with the 3 herbs, doesn't hurt. And 20 paddlefish is recommended, but I probably again would maybe even try and get more. I don't in this because it's I think the herbs sometimes might, if it goes on longer, but anyway, it's probably food's better in terms of the fight. And then you got your shards there and the weapon frames. So 2 weapon frames you'll want, because you'll obviously be using for this 2 different weapons. And we want to try and get perfected weapons for this. So you can see here that I'm actually just going for the resources at the moment, putting the herbs in the potions and the crushed up shards in those potions to make them. Now they will obviously, you'd probably be familiar if you've done Corrupted Gauntlet before, that they will not only do prayer, but they'll also renew stamina, like a stamina potion at the same time. And you can also see that I'm going in a counterclockwise way, where you're running around the rooms at the back of the Corrupted Hunllef boss. So now I'm heading back to get the bark. I've got all my resources, and I'm using the Singing Crystal Bowl to make some armor. So the helm, the body, and the legs. But I don't have enough shards here, you can see. So you probably would want to get more shards in this instance. Obviously, for me, I'm not too fussed. I'm just going for the Demi Boss now. I found the first one, which is the bear. So in this guide, we're actually going to use the halberd, perfect halberd, and you may want to keep searching for a dragon and a dark beast to have the range mage combo, because it is a bit easier not having to worry about the cyclone pathing, dying from that with doing melee damage. Also with the squares, the halberd is just a little bit more difficult, but if you do the halberd enough, it's not too hard. So now still needing some more crystal shards. We got our weapon from the Demi Boss for the halberd, and now we're just getting the 20 paddlefish. So we're finishing that off, and then we just need to find the next Demi Boss. So you can see we're at the 4-minute timer here. That's not great time. We probably should be a bit more on our way at this point, but it's plenty of time. We'll be able to do what we need to do. The main thing is to just keep an eye on that timer. When it gets down to about a minute, probably about a minute or 50 seconds, you definitely want to be back at the base cooking the food, doing those last things with maybe if you haven't made the perfected weapon yet, and just dropping the stuff and mainly having just your food and things. So we're just trying to find this Demi Boss right now. So it can be a bit frustrating, as you can see. It's never perfect really, but see, we got another bear, we don't need that. So you keep traveling. May have to have a stamina sip at this point. Oh, here we go, Dark Beast. So this combination, instead of staff and the halberd, will be the bow and the halberd. So I'll need another weapon frame, so we can make the bow as well in this instance, because I've got a staff with me. So it's 3 weapons technically, but because we could only make that an attuned staff. We will want the bow to make it a perfected bow for this one. So you can see I've done the wrong thing, and I've actually teleported back. You probably noticed this if you're watching the video, that I've only got one weapon frame, and I haven't realised that I won't be able to make the halberd, as you see there, because I left the weapon frame back there. So in this instance, don't panic. I've got another teleport that I've made, just so you'll need to do that so you can teleport back. And now I'm cooking the food, so I'm making sure I do this at the base first, because I know that I'm going to have to run back to that area and teleport back. And you know, no guide like these are perfect, so it's good actually that this has happened, so you can see that you can actually recover from this. So I made the plate legs, so we've got the full basic set now. We have the perfected crystal bow in our inventory, and we just now need to make the perfected halberd, crystal halberd. So now we're fishing the paddlefish. We got another few to do. I think in this guide I leave 2 off, so I only have 18, and we still, yeah, we'll still be right with this. So lost energy, so have a take a sip of that ignial, what is it, ignial potion, I don't know how you pronounce that, ignial, I think it is. Weapon frame, so there we go, this is a room, so just drop something else, the harpoon we drop, because you can always get that back at the base if you need to fish more. So teleporting back now, we've got 1 minute and 13 seconds, about 1 minute to go. So making that perfected corrupted halberd. Just realised these aren't crystal, are they? They're corrupted. So yeah, now we're cooking the rest of our paddlefish. And I'm just going to make a last potion here, so the 3rd potion. So you could have chose to get some more fish, create a teleport, and fish a bit and then cook. But in this instance, I'm just rocking with the food, 3 potions, and the perfected weapons basic armor. So here we go, entering in the Corrupted Hunllef lair now. So always pray range. We're in the melee, so get out of that quickly. You can sometimes wait for it to go over if you're more comfortable doing that, but you can path it so you get over to the side. So starting with range, it will be those attacks, and then you switch over to magic. So first magic attack, second one, square, run out of that. Oh, that one would negate your prayer, so to put that back on, that will count 3, 4. So 4 attacks, and then you need to switch back. So that's the tornado attack, but it's starting with range. The tornado will count towards it, so we're at the 3rd range attack. 4th range attack, switch, you'll see it stomp, and it'll make a sound. It should be audible in this video. So now we're using melee back to range, because it's protecting from melee. So it would be the sequence: 4 range attacks, switch, 4 magic attacks, switch, and the magic attack that negates your prayer, that turns off your prayer, will count as a magic attack, and the tornado attack will count as a range or mage attack. So you need to count those like they're the attacks as well. And then all the while the floor is going to damage you when it turns that orangish color from red. So pretty much that's it, and don't get within its melee distance the whole fight. And this is all you have to do, praying perfectly with on range and mage. So you can't get hit off prayer, like you can have. What will happen in this, you'll see chip damage, but don't freak out, that's not actually going to fail it. If you get hit for say up to 10 even, that still counts as chip damage. That's probably the max chip damage that the Hunllef can get on you through prayer, so don't worry too much. Yeah, it's just see there's a bit of chip damage hitting the 4, so don't try and see the tornadoes are chasing you, and that prayer attack's just turned off our prayer, so don't freak out too much. Come back for the melee. Now, it's not, when I say it's harder, this fight with melee, it's not a whole lot harder, but if you primarily have been using the staff and the range method and you're more comfortable having range between you and the Hunllef, you may not like this, because you do have to, there is a little bit of a DPS check on the Corrupted Hunllef, because you have to damage it, you have to try and damage it a little more than you would if you were doing the Crystalline Hunllef, because they have different HP. So this one has 1,000. You're gonna have to get as many attacks in as you can between its attacks, because you remember it's doing chip damage on you, and you could get hit by a tornado or the squares, and that's not going to fail this. What's going to fail it is when you don't pray correctly. So you want to make sure you pray correctly the whole time, focusing on that, and you attack it throughout the fight as much as you can, which is what I'm doing. You don't have to do it perfectly. You can get a few hits while it's praying against your attack. That doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you keep getting chip away at it as you're moving around it, and don't be afraid to attack it with the halberd either. So you see here, running for the halberd attack. Yep. It's coming down a bit to the wire here, so we're in the last 200 HP. 162 at the moment, so this is where it gets a little trickier. You have to run through the tornadoes, the squares. When they're like this, it's much harder, because they do go quicker. Well, see, I took a lot of damage then from the tornadoes. That was bound to happen on that. There is always a way to dodge it, but you're never probably at the start, like doing this when you haven't done it for a long time, or if you're doing this as a noob or starting off, you will take damage from the tornado. Don't worry about it. It's just as long as you complete the achievement praying correctly for this one, that's all that matters. So again, tornadoes, the squares are out. This is where it's all hectic. Mage, make sure you path correctly. Get out of the squares, or take a bit of damage here too. No, it's all good. So you see you run over squares. As long as you're running, probably after about 2 seconds start damaging, but you should be alright in that first instance, running over. And here we're coming down to the wire. And Corrupted Hunllef's down for the count. Congratulations, 321 Mage is completed with the Corrupted Hunllef. Alright guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Now's never been a better time to subscribe, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you'll see more videos from me. Alright, see you all in the next one, and have a great day or night. Peace.